Hey snare drummers, welcome back. Today we're doing solo number 29. This solo is in 2/4 time and it's got a tempo of 100 beats per minute. We're going to take it a little bit slower so that we can have some extra time in that tempo to really make our rhythms accurate. Hey, let's get started by playing the first two lines. And I think it would be easier if we take these first two lines and we play them with the plain, simple rhythms that they present. I'll show you what I mean. Join me. 1, 2, ready, go. 1E and a 2 and a 1E and 2 and a 1E and 2E and a 1 and a 2. 1E and a 2 and a 1E and 2 and a 1E and 2E and a 1E and a 2. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2E and a stop. So you notice I didn't play any of the drags that first time through. I played those rhythms simple and plain. Let's go through those two lines one more time, simple and plain. 1, 2, ready, go. 1E and a 2 and a 1E and 2 and a 1E and 2E and a 1 and a 2. 1E and a 2 and a 1E and 2 and a 1E and 2E and a 1E and a 2. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2E and a stop. Now let's add those drags into lines 1 and 2. Okay? 1, 2, ready, go. So you see how we added them back in? For some more practice, let's do those lines again with the drags. Lines 1 and 2. And 1E and a 2 and ready and go. Great. Now let's move on to line 3 and line 4. First, we'll play it plain. Line 3 and line 4. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and 2. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2E and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2. 1E and 2E and 1 and a 2 and 1E and 2E and 1 and a 2 and 1. It ends with that 5-stroke roll. Now let's go back and play lines 3 and 4 with the drag in place. Line 3 and 4. Ready? 1 and 2 and ready and go. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and 2. Let's play line 3 and 4 one more time for extra practice with those drags. And 1, 2, ready, go. Great, now we're up to lines number 5 and line number 6. Let's go through those plain. 1 and 2 and ready and go. 1 and 2E and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2E and 1 and a 2. 1E and a 2 and a 1E and 2 and a 1E and 2E and a 1 and a 2. 1E and a 2 and a 1E and 2 and a 1E and 2E and a stop. Now let's go through that lines 5 and 6 with the drags included. And 1 and 2 and lines 5 and 6. Made a tiny little error back there. Let's go through that line 5 and 6 one more time. 1, 2, line 5 and 6, 2, ready, go. Great. Now lines 7 and 8. If you need to, count down from the top of the page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we're going to do it plain without the extra drags in there. 1, 2, plain. Line 7 and 8. Here we go. 1 and a 2, 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2, 1 and 2, and 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2, 1 and 2, and 1 and a 2, 1 and a 2, 1 and a 2. So there's some flams in there as well. Let's go back and add the drags and the flams to lines 7 and 8. 1 and 2 and ready and go. You're probably seeing that there's some flammacues and some flams and flam taps in there as well. Let's go back and add those rudiments in if we can to lines 7 and 8 one more time. Ready? And 1 and 2 and ready and go. All we have left are lines 9 and line 10, the last two lines. So let's play them simple and then go back and add the drags in. Here we go. Ready? 1 and 2, last two lines go. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2. 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2, 1 and 2 E and a 1 and 2. The solo ends with a 5-stroke roll. Now let's go back and add in those drags. 1, 2, last two lines. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2, 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2, 1 and 2 E and a 1 and 2. Let's play it one more time for good measure. Last two lines, ready, go. And there you have it. We broke down solo number 29 into 2-line chunks. And now it's your turn to go back and try to connect those chunks together. A suggestion would be, see if you could do it in 4-line chunks with a remainder of 2 at the end, and then more and more lines until you completely can go through the solo. Then try to increase the tempo until you can reach the goal tempo of 100 beats per minute. So I hope that you have found this video helpful and you've got some value at it, and that you're becoming a better drummer. So until I see you next time, keep drumming.